Swimming like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank. When it's sink or swim, only option is to win. In the murky water, not a thought of giving in.
Hey, welcome back to the Orange County Shrimp Tank here in beautiful Southern California. And before we get started here, I just want to make sure that you check out OrangeCountyShrimpTankPodcast.com and check out today's episode. A lot of meat on the bone here. It's a lot of fun, a lot of laughs on this one. Our special guest today is Dan Hales,
a state attorney with Citadel Law.
Yeah, and it's been just a blast here, folks. We got a little history here, so we had a lot of fun here. Hey, Dan, one question I ask our guests, and I mess up on it all the time, and that's where when people ask you, what do you do? And my mind's here, or mind's there, and I say one word or I say a phrase, and later they leave and go, why did I say that? So, Dan, when people ask you, what do you do? How do you answer that?
Well, I get asked that at parties and events. People come up to you and they say, what do you do? And I say, I'm an attorney. And then before they want to hear any more, they'll start telling me about the auto accident they had, the lawsuit they had. And then I have to tell them, actually, I'm a trust attorney. I do estate planning and trust work. So we create trusts and corporations and structures that protect family wealth and businesses and pass them on to the next generation.
And, I got to add this now, since you threw it that way, too, is that do you have other cards of other attorneys that you give referrals to when they need that auto attorney?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, excellent.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
I have a very large referral network because there's so much I don't do.
Yeah. No, I feel that attorneys have to work together.
They do. It's... this is the shrimp tank.
This is the shrimp tank.
But usually attorneys working together, that's like the shark tank.
Oh, I love
There's
that.
a bit of carnage.
We do not want to mention that name, though.
You go into the courtroom and you literally bludgeon each other to death. And then you go out into the hallway and you shake each other's
And
hand.
have lunch.
And you have to learn to work together.
So, Dan, what do you think is the one key element to starting and building a successful law firm?
It's about work ethic. I think, and all that entails. The truth is attorneys work hard. Mm-hmm. They put in a lot of hours, and they make a lot of sacrifices to serve their clients' interests, to be to court early in the morning, to return all the phone calls and emails that you have to. It's attention to detail, staying on top of the law, listening to your clients, and working hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. The commitment that in your particular industry, especially too, that's intense, and I'm sure a lot of people can't follow through the way you have. I wanted to ask you another question here. Experience. I've been in the business over 34 years. It took me about 10 years before I said, okay, I have this down, and I have a few round table experts around me, and one of them so happens to be you, that I reference when I have certain clients. And but it took me about 10 years before I said I had it down, 30 years in the business. Again, I know I asked you this question, but how many years, again, have you been in the business, and when did you feel like, okay, I have this down?
I have been practicing for almost 30 years. And I think, for the first couple of years, any new attorney is learning the ropes. And there's a lot to learn to get up to the top of your game. But I think after about 5 or 6 years, I felt like I had a pretty good amount of confidence and knowledge in the field. And then it just keeps growing. But, given the fact that Congress keeps changing the laws, both the state Congresses, and depending on what state you're in, and the federal laws, they're always changing. Right. So just when you think you're on top of it, the laws change. Right. And you have to learn the new stuff. Oh. And so it's a constant battle to stay educated on the new changing laws.
Oh, I agree 100%.
So, Dan, at the end of the day, how do you want your clients to remember you and your law firm?
Well, assuming they can still find my phone number or business card, I'd like them to remember they can always call us anytime if they ever have any questions. But I'd like them to remember us as the attorneys that cared about them and did everything we could to help them achieve their goals and objectives.
Awesome. Yep.
Yeah, and I have to concur with that. I've worked with Dan, and he will follow through. He'll make sure you know precisely what you're doing, or even give you some other ideas that if you wanted to deviate off to something else, Dan's going to put you right on the pathway. Hey, Dan, I have a question here. Social media. We got a ton of that going on. Instagram,
Facebook,
Facebook,
LinkedIn.
websites. Some people use the email a lot. I mean, that it still is a degree of it. And now it's the podcast. So I know what your favorite is now already, but I wanted to ask you, what are some of which particular one do you like the most, or a combination to get to your clients out there to let them know I'm over here, and or the customer service? Which ones? I mean, how would you answer that?
Well, I know social media is important. It's an important way to keep a presence out there. But with a law firm, the truth is that the attorney-client privilege is very important. And our most important conversations are happening privately on the phone or behind closed doors.
Right.
And there's really nothing to add to broadcast via social media to any particular client other than here's our presence as a law firm or a great law firm.
Right.
But, I don't spend a lot of time on social media because I really don't have that time to do that.
Right.
And everything I'm talking about with a client is absolutely private.
No.
So I don't engage in it a lot. I think it's fun. I know certain presidential candidates have gotten an awful lot of mileage out of tweeting. Right?
Yes,
It's a great way to win an election.
Yes. Right. I don't know who you're talking about, but
yeah, probably any of them today.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But so I'm really not good at social media. I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook or Instagram. You haven't seen my new clothing line on Instagram, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh.
You
See, there
got
you
to
go.
send that out.
There you go.
Okay. Well, one thing I have to. And Dan, you're not the biggest fan of it, but I understand it because a lot of your business, I'm going to assume, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of yours is referral business, isn't it?
Yeah, I think most of our business is from referral business from clients. Now their children are grown up and they want us to organize the children's estates or the parents or in-laws or something.
Right, absolutely.
So, Dan, if I want to contract your services, the best way I'm taking it is by calling your office.
Or you can walk down the street and
Yeah,
turn
there
right.
we go.
We're pretty close.
We are close.
But yes, you could call us at 1-800-662-0882, or our local number is 949-852-8181.
Is there a website?
There is.
Oh, really?
The name of the law firm is the website. It's citadellaw.com.
Excellent. Hey, I want to thank this attorney, Dan Hales, today.
Committee of one?
Yeah, it's been a great time. Again, Dan and I go back many years. And my guest, Tab Phipps.
I'm your guest today.
Yeah, or my guest, my co-host. See, Dan's throwing us off today, folks. But if anything, it's been a great time. But I want you to check out Orange County Shrimp Tank Podcast.com. And again, get the whole comedian show. Get everything about what Dan can provide, but it's been excellent. If you want to be on the show, check it out, same place, and we'll see what we can do. Absolutely. And always check out YouTube, iTunes, and see if you find a CEO that you want to download. And always remember, with the ups and downs of the business world, which there's plenty of them, always stay cool and keep the faith.